Well, welcome back. Well, welcome along to live coverage of the EGCA Champions League. We are really now into the business end of the competition. It is Fen Tigers taking on Old Power. It is our first semi-final of this EGCA Champions League qualifier. A place in the final at stake, but a ticket to the finals of the Champions League also at stake. And it will be Old Power who will get us underway, throwing from left to right. Fen Tigers from right to left. Old Power in all black. It's Erki Minala with the first throw. And it's into the back of the net. What a start for Old Power. And you guessed it, it is Erki Minala.
Great scramble there by Joe Roper, but unfortunately not quite enough. Referee deeming it just over the goal line as he scrambled to reach it back. So yeah, great start for Erki and the Old Power team. And Roper now trying to get the first action underway for Fen Tigers with a good shot, but a save by Vasalainen.
Yeah, so it's Vasalainen, Zovidavi and Minala for Old Power from right to left. And this is Vasalainen with his first throw. Going down the centre, saved by Joe Roper. So Joe Roper in the centre for Fen Tigers. To the right is Dan Roper. To the left, Josh McKenty.
Bit of a nervy start from Joe Roper, these first couple of shots. Hopefully somebody can settle into this game. Demonstrate what he did in the last, because he was superb. Erki Minala now lining up through the centre, moves Zovidavi out of the way. Good shot down to the right hand side, but well saved by Josh McKenty.
Josh McKenty throwing from this near side, right down the near side of the court, blocked out by Vasalainen. And here is Vasalainen with the effort right at Josh McKenty. And Roper coming to take over. Left side of the court, throwing from right to left, goes down the centre and scores, Dan Roper! And Fen Tigers are level.
Really good shot, that man again, Dan Roper. Bringing his team back into it, 1-1. What a start to this game. It's going to be an exciting one. Less than a minute played, already a goal apiece. We've got Vasalainen now on the right-hand side for Old Power. Tries that long cross, bouncing shot. But good, strong defence there from Dan Roper. Dan now steps inside the court briefly. Throws that line shot. Well matched by Erki, who steps up with a quick response. But well retrieved by Joe Roper, who now hands that ball over to Big Josh.
Yeah, Josh McKenty going towards that left pocket and squeezes it past Zovidavi, but not past Vasalainen. So 26 goals now for Dan Roper. Roper has possession of the ball after that throw from Vasalainen. Minala up to 17 goals. Here's Dan Roper. And he can't get it through Zovidavi, and that's a goal for Dan Roper. Almost feels like he's just turned up his shot power a few extra notches.
Yeah, that one looked fast. It was really accurate as well. Had Zovidavi really stretching inside that pocket. So I think this is going to be a good battle. Two good throwing teams, but also good defensive records throughout this competition and plenty of experience as well across both.
Josh McKenty on this near side. Rolls it across the court towards the centre of the Old Power goal. That's blocked. Erki Minala. Now already a goal to his name. With the centre saved by Joe Roper in the centre. Here is Dan Roper from Fen Tigers. Pushing it towards that right pocket. Zovidavi is all over that one, smothering. Throwing it from left to right. Here is Zovidavi towards the near corner of the Fen Tigers goal. That's blocked out.
Celebrating that one like a goal, the crowd and Josh McKenty. Happy with that one. Josh picks this ball up now. transitioned into attack. That rotating throw, he throws back across, a little bit central. Zombie Davi didn't wrap it up first time, but was able to go and quickly retrieve it. Passes over to Erky Milalana, who puts that angled shot in, but it's well matched by the defence of Dan Roper, now taking a shot from the centre of the court.
Throw down the centre, saved by Zombie Davi, who has been excellent so far in this tournament, always busy in the centre role in particular. Aim towards that left pocket. The two Roper brothers are right in behind it. Here is Josh McKenty. Goes for it towards that left pocket. That is booted away.
Some good accurate shooting here from both teams, really testing the other's defence. But yeah, particularly at the moment, really complementing each other. Josh McKenty and Dan Roper with their range of shots and variation in shot style as well.
Dan Roper behind that one, no mistake there. Joe Roper just clapping his hands as Dan Roper goes towards this far side, and that one is totally saved by Erki Minala. Here is Erki Minala again, going towards that left pocket. Scramble for the ball is claimed by Joe Roper. And here comes the response from Dan Roper. Racked it up, that's the line in. Has to block with his legs as the ball rolls towards the halfway line. Prevents the ball over. But now that is out, and that will be the ball over.
Yeah, just a little bit out with the pass then, as it's gone so far forward to collect the ball. Battleline not able to stop it on the way back. Now Josh McKenty lines up at that post, ready to start the attack for, and it's left by the centre for Old Power there, Zovidavi, but really good backing up by Battleline and showing that he can not only throw well, but that he's a really solid, composed defender as well.
Dan Roper, 26 goals in the Champions League so far, top scorer. Here is Erki Minala. Right towards his near corner, Josh McKenty put the block in. So Old Power progressing through to the semi-finals after a 10-4 victory earlier on in the day. Fen Tigers beat Northern All-Stars in our Milk Battle of Britain by 6-3. It was a brilliant game between the two sides. And it's one apiece here. And saved by Josh McKenty.
Yeah, Josh McKenty doing really well here from a defensive point of view. It is something where he's getting a lot of that ball, so something for the Tigers to be aware of and just relieve that pressure from him when they can. A goal would do that brilliantly. Dan Roper has an opportunity to do that now. Steps up, leans back on the goal, sorts his feet out, got that rotation, and he hits a really nice wide right pocket, but it's got good hands from Zavi Dovey, and then a quick response from Erki Minala, and matched by another from Dan Roper, but kicked out from Zavi Dovey there. Good phase of play, got the fans going, that one did.
Yeah, nice rhythm to this match so far, one apiece between the two sides, just under 5 minutes gone. It's Vassalainen on this near side, wearing all black. Number 5 for Old Power goes right down the centre, that's saved by Joe Roper. Josh McKenty, the Big Mac, number 6 for Fen Tigers. And that is a high ball. You can hear it, you can feel it. And that is an opportunity now for Old Power to retake the lead. They went 1-0 up inside their first throw. And now a chance for his side to go back in front. Vassalainen will take this one. Centre his goal. And Josh McKenty saves. He guessed it right. Well, that's 2 that he's had today in big moments of the matches. Josh McKenty. He's guessing them right at the moment.
Good stop there, guessed really well for it, and you know, sort of bit of a get out of jail free given the penalty away at this such a close stage in this game. There's something to be aware of as well. We talked about Josh doing a lot of the defending. You know, is it then any coincidence he's given that high ball away straight after? So just something for the Tigers to be aware of, and maybe even something for Old Power to take confidence from here, that, you know, they are forcing pressure on Josh. But an exciting game. Erki Miller now stood at back centre. He moves Zovidavi out of the way. And he looks at sending that ball down into the left-hand side pocket, left by Joe Roper. Good, strong defensive positioning from Dan Roper to stop that ball there. And then he fires back with a pocket, right side pocket of himself, which again misses the centre, but he's backed up by Erki. This is a real battle by some really good players here. What a great game.
Certainly is. Everyone is on the edge of their seats in the crowd. 6 very talented players on the court with plenty of good options off it as well to bring on. Here is Josh McKenty going right down the line on this near side. Vassalainen making no mistake. That one is blocked out. Well, as we approach the end of the first quarter, you cannot separate the two sides. Erkki Minala, Dan Roper, two brilliant offensive players with 2 goals.
Josh McKenty now. Opposite Vassalainen, sends that ball straight down. It's a wow block. Vassalainen gets up himself really, really quickly and sends it back to a nice little battle between these. Almost got the battle between Vassalainen and Josh McKenty, and then same on the opposite side with Erkki and Dan Roper. Sovidavi now lining up in the centre, trying to get involved in some action, bringing a different type of throw. And it's a good block by Josh McKenty.
Yeah, really forcing that block, Josh McKenty, and a curling effort, not a million miles away from Josh McKenty, as that one fizzed and popped across the court. But great matchups across the 3 players for the 2 Tides, and here's Erkki Minala going cross court. Josh McKenty made that big save from the penalty. That's another good one there. Goes right to that far side. Dan Roper now down the far side of the court. Erkki Minala gets the ball trapped underneath his legs. Sovidavi coming for it towards that near side, and Josh McKenty make sure he gets the big block in. Dan Roper, already 1 goal to his name in the semi-final, and he scores on Sovidavi. And doesn't get past Erkki Minala, and that is a timeout. And I think from a Fen Tigers point of view, they'll see that as a big advantage here.
Yeah, you can almost feel something building. A little bit sort of concerned or aware, I suppose, that the old power game plan seems to just be give that ball to Josh. That doesn't necessarily suit Dan, who really likes to be involved in the attack, but what they're doing at the moment is he's coming over really well, getting that ball, and Josh is really focusing on just doing the defensive responsibility. A really, really close effort that went underneath Sovidavi there in centre, but fantastic backing up by Erkki Minala in the back, and that's when we had the timeout called. So messaging, a little bit of a reset, something slightly different from the teams now, but this is a really, really close fought game of 2 very, very strong and disciplined teams, and it shows, you know, defence can win you games, and both of these teams are on it at the moment.
So nearly ready to go. Erkki Minala, legend in the sport, goes for the throw down this near side. McKenty though matches up to him. McKenty goes down this near side, and that's parried away by Vassalainen.
Really nice line shot there from Josh. He's got good accuracy so far in this game. He's been hitting that line and long cross nicely, but another man who can do that is Vassalainen here. This time opts for the shot into the right hand side pocket. Good strong defence from Joe Roper, and Dan Roper is over to come and collect that ball from Josh.
Yeah, Vassalainen 16 goals. He's right up there at the top scorers in the tournament. Roper trying to make as little noise as possible, but slightly leans back on the crossbar, whips it forward. Minala right there. Quick return from Erkki, and scores Erkki Minala.
Fantastic there from Erkki Minala, backing up his centre again. That's a few times now that Dan Roper's beaten Sovidavi underneath him. Erkki's doing a great job from a defensive point of view. You'd think he'd take a bit of a breath after that. He didn't. He sprung straight back up to his feet, hit a quick return, beautiful accuracy, and scored a lovely goal in that left-hand side pocket. Whole power lead 2-1.
That's the line. Erkki Minala doing a great job on the inside in those pockets. Double protection. And here is Dan going down the centre. Davi claims that one though. Davi. And that one ends up into the back of the net. Joe Roper and Josh McKenty getting into a bit of a tangle. And that's 2 in the space of a couple of throws. And Old Power now push into a 3-1 lead.
So Timo, the Old Power coach, has called a timeout. Within the space of 4 shots, we've got 2 goals. You know, potentially demonstrates the power there of the technical coaching and whatever Timo's seen, given that information, and his team able to execute that. But a really, really good spell of play after that timeout for Old Power. Starting now with Erkki Minala on that left-hand side. Lots of shots that seem to be coming and being thrown across Joe Roper in centre at the moment. A couple of them are flipped. That one, not the case. He was good to it. Dan Roper now coming over to the left-hand side to pick up that ball. He has full court and do what he does best, which is move.
Yeah, Dan Roper Out towards that far side of the court. And goes underneath Minola. And Dan Roper has a second. Well, they've been really threatening that Fen Tigers. And that is a second for Dan Roper. It is 3-2.
Yeah, so the two that have gone over under Zovidavi originally and been backed up by Urki have been thrown from Dan in a centre position. That one he was slightly further over to the right, just changed up the angle, and it actually came on a much wider angle for Urki to then overcover. That was the little adjustment that Dan needed to get the goal there. Well done. Great fight back for his team. 3-2. Dan Roper blocks the ball out.
Game on in this semi-final, our first semi-final of the Champions League. Dan Roper just taking a breath. Slightly right of centre. Roper right to left. Right at Erky Minola. He makes no mistake, and it's a quick response from Minola. Josh McKenty's there. Well, Erky threatening it again with a quick reply. So agile across the court.
Josh McKenty now following a little break-in play there, an opportunity for the crowd to make some noise. See if that spurs Josh on. He's got a lovely line shot then. Just met by the hands of Vasalainen, and he pushes that wide, but a really nice line shot. You can see what Josh is trying to do here. He's hit that really nicely. That is also helping to complement that shot into the right-hand side pocket that Dan Roper's had some success with. Vasalainen now with a bouncing shot. It went through the arms of Dan Roper, but fortunately Dan had his angles correct and it was past the post. Dan now picking up, lining up at that right-hand side post. We're going to see some variation in his throw. He's going straight back into that 5 pocket again, but Zovidavi sat ready and waiting. He knows what Dan wants to do. We need to see him mix it up a little bit. Great block there from Joe Roper, who hands the ball over to Josh McKenty.
Here is the big Mac, Josh McKenty, going straight for that line again. This near side, and he's really putting the pressure on Vasalainen, making him think, making him work. Great atmosphere inside the venue as well. Vasalainen. That's a big block. And he gives it some as well.
Great breaking play there for big Josh, making some noise, getting a bit of a chuckle out of the crowd. Got him a nice little 10-second breather there with the referee having to calm people down. And now we're going to have a official timeout as well for the floor to be mopped. 3-2, Old Power lead. 2:26 left on the clock for this first half. It promised to be an exciting game, and it is not letting us down.
100%, and Josh is just adding to the occasion as well. And Old Power are in a game here against Fen Tigers. Dan Roper with 2 goals. Dropped the ball earlier on, Dan Roper on the far side. And it goes underneath Zovidavi.
That's that angle, it goes under Zovidavi, but it's allowing Araki to back him up. That's where Dan's got to add to that now and take that shot on the right hand side and not allow Urki to back up. Oh, really pushing it there. Completely understand and get why. It's a battle. We play the game in the fine margins and to the limit, but that's a long ball penalty given away by Daniel Roper, and an opportunity now for Urki Minolara to fire back for Old Power.
Yeah, Erky Minola, will he take this opportunity? No, that is wide from Erky Minola. So that's 2 penalties that have passed them by for Old Power. They could be in a lot stronger position here as we approach the half-time break.
Yeah, are they going to be penalties that they rue missing later on in this game? But at the moment, they're still in the lead and in a really good position in this game. 2 minutes left of this first half. Vasalainen throws that long cross, but accuracy just a little bit too far left. Dan Roper now lining up on the right hand side. Can he keep this shot legal? He does. It comes across the centre this time into the left hand pocket. Zovidavi isn't able to stop it completely. He sends it forward and it's a ball over. Fen Tigers get possession back.
Little momentum swing this is for Fen Tigers, and now Dan Roper. Squeezes it underneath Minola and Zovidavi, and it is 3-all. Dan Roper has been threatening that from that angle, as Aaron mentioned. And the plan has come off, it's 3-3.
Perfect play from Dan. You can see what he's trying to do. He's hitting that 5 spot or the right hand side pocket from the left side. and then he's just mixing that angle up and he's catching them really, really clean, not able to get anything on it. Great game, really, really good, both teams. And you can see both teams are following this plan as well and executing it nicely. 90 seconds left on the clock, currently 3-3.
Just what we wanted. Really enthralling semi-final. The hosts giving Old Power, who have been perfect so far through the group stages and the quarterfinals, real game. That was an awkward one. Dan Roper collects well, going right back at Erkin Minila. But that's a long ball given against Dan Roper. That's 2 now that he's given away, and this is a 3rd penalty conceded. Are they going to get away with another one?
Different taker this time. It's Zovi Davi who has the ball for Old Power, stood at back centre. Last penalty from Erki Minala went out. Can Zovi Davi convert this penalty for his team, giving them that lead? Lines up on the left of the crossbar, sends it down the middle of the court, and Dan Roper just fractionally too far to his right hand side, and the goal goes in. 4-3. Old Power regain the lead.
Well, finally, Old Power convert to one of these penalty chances. And it is 4-3 now to Old Power, just over a minute to go in the first half. Josh McKenty has been really targeting his near side with Vassalainen. It's another big block who's had to get through a lot of work, as has Josh McKenty. And now that centre is targeted Joe Roper. 1 minute to go of the first half. Minila makes no mistake.
There to back up Zovi Davi again with that angled shot across him. Zovi Davi left it, knowing and recognising that Erki's there to back him up. Team game, and they're all taking that individual job and doing it really, really well.
Here is Zovi Davi. Right up to this near side, and McKenty makes the block, and a timeout has been called by Emma Evans. Just over 20 seconds remaining, 1 goal in it. It's been a fantastic semi-final so far.
Yeah, really good game so far, and it's clear to see that there are going to be some more goals in this game. I think, you know, Dan's found his sweet spot of how he's varying that different attack and really trying to target that right side pocket. You know, part of that is probably because, like us, they've watched Vassalainen and not really concede a goal all weekend down his line, so it's not a surprise that they're trying to look somewhere else. But yeah, so far you can see what the Fen Tigers are trying to do. Can they continue to chip away at that, but then keep this legal game and not invite any pressure on like they did just after getting that, just after drawing the game tie? It's Josh McKenty starting us off now in this. After the timeout, we've got 17 seconds left, and that's a ball over. Fen Tigers will get it back. Cheer from the crowd.
Well, big moment this for Fen Tigers just before the break. If they can play this correctly, then could have 2 bites of the cherry here. Dan Roper's wanting to set up one shot. Here he goes. It squeezes wide. It was close, and it was nearly perfectly executed by Dan Roper. Erkin Minila, experienced, just taking down the seconds. Big block from Josh McKenty, and that is half-time. What a first half that has been in this semi-final between Fen Tigers, the hosts, and Old Power, one of the favourites for this EGCA Champions League qualifier. Not much between the two sides. Erkin Minila and Dan Roper, 2 top scorers alongside Vassalainen, all involved in the scoring. But a brilliant first half, not much in it.
No, yeah, not much at all. I think, you know, the penalties, although Old Power haven't converted all of them, Fen Tigers have given away more than the Old Powers have let slip, and that currently is the difference with that 1 goal deficit in terms of Old Power holding the lead. But all to play for in this second half, and I think both teams will be reassured that they've had success in this first half, not only from attacking point of view, but also that they've had success in terms of keeping the other team at bay. It's been a really, really good, solid defensive play. As you say, Brad, lots of those in contention for the top goal scorer a warder in this game, so there was always going to be some goals, but they're also both really good, experienced defensive teams as well, and that's showing on the court right now.
It certainly is. Well, at the moment, it is Old Power who lead in our first semi-final, half-time currently. Next up will be our second 5th to 8th placement match between Berlin and Sporting. Our second semi-final, which will be Brussels taking on Lyon. Just wait to see if there are any changes for the two sides. Looks like it's going to be as you were, Josh McKenty, Joe Roper and Dan Roper. And then for Old Power, Salainen, Zovi Davi and Erki Minila. For Fen Tigers, Dave Scott and Don Roper on the bench. Well, Dave Scott and Don Roper weren't used in the quarter-final, so how much effort that those guys have put in. Already played one full game, and now the first half against a team like Old Power, we've got to concentrate so hard. Will they, do you think Emma might start to think about making some change, depending on how the game's going, of course?
Yeah, I think, and it's a difficult one. So in a game like this, from a coaching point of view, you know, you don't want to make a change and upset the rhythm and upset the apple cart. If you make a change and it goes wrong because the players come off the bench and they've not tuned into the shot speed quickly, or dealt with that introduction as well as you'd hoped, it can look like you've made a really bad decision. If you bring somebody on and instantly they impact the game, they bring something new, you can be the hero or the villain, and sometimes I think that's where, as a coach, you're a little bit torn, particularly in a game like this that means so much. Don't forget they're trying to qualify here for the Champions League finals, and at the moment the guys are playing a good game. It's really close. Both teams are still in this, but I would expect that both teams might be thinking about using some of their squad players at some point. But equally, there is a vast amount of experience on the court at the moment for both teams, which does go a long way in a situation and pressure game like this.
Second half, it's Old Power on the left. Old Power for Fen Tigers 3. Fen Tigers come to the ball. Quiet, please. Center.
So here we go, Fen Tigers on the left, Old Power on the right in this second half. Fen Tigers will start with Dan Roper with the first throw, and Erki Minila right behind it. So no changes for either side. For Old Power, they have Sim Hinson, Josh Murphy on the bench. Dan Roper now here for Fen Tigers, right underneath the crossbar. Goes right to Erki Minila now on this near side. Well, a good battle between Vasalainen and Josh McKenty down this near side of the court. Switch up with Roper and for Vasalainen.
So I think they believe it's a 10-second penalty, but I actually think that's a mistake. So I think that'll be an official error, and then that should go down as a no throw perhaps. No, they're not going to put it as a no throw, so Fen Tigers keep possession of the ball. Josh McKenty on the left hand side sends it down the line to Vasalainen, who blocks well, gets set with a quick return and sends it back across to the left hand side of centre, but a good block by Joe Roper there.
So no penalty, and Dan Roper throw down this near side. That's blocked by Erki Minila. It's another ball over. So this has been a really good start for this second half for Fen Tigers. They are starting to pile on the pressure early doors, but the experience on the power side, they are holding firm. Dan Roper with that effort down the far side. He gets back into position as that one's cleared away by Joe Roper.
Good cover again there by Joe, realising that Dan wasn't quite back in position yet following that movement shot, and Joe took on the defensive responsibility really well there. Ball dropped in. Josh McKenty, left hand side.
Josh McKenty goes towards Vasalainen. They continue their one-on-one battle that they had in that first half. And Zovi Davi, who is going to throw towards McKenty. McKenty spreads himself. Now Dan Roper just hugging that far post. Roper goes towards that far post. Vasalainen You just cannot get through him at the moment.
No, he's a fantastic defender, but I think it's also realising that, you know, our Fen Tigers throwing at these left-hand side numbers at the moment to score, or are they throwing to set up the opportunity to score? And, you know, I think they do their analysis enough to know that Vassalainen's a really, really strong defender, so that leads me to believe that this is about preparing and creating a goal scoring opportunity rather than just expecting that Vassalainen's going to give you something simple, because we've not seen it all weekend. He's a really, really good performer.
The game's so tight. The chance to prepare for a plan is allowed, but that one goes into the back of the net, and suddenly that gap is opened. And it is 5-3 to Old Power.
Sometimes there's rather risk of, you know, the role of feeding that player, knowing that they are a good defender but also a really strong shooter, giving that person the ball. It's that risk reward, and it is that sometimes it can bite you in the bum, because by giving him the ball, you're almost feeding the beast. And, you know, he's got one back there. It was a really good shot. But it's Erky Miller now for Old Power on the left-hand side.
Straight at Dan Roper. Roper threatens to go quickly, but just sets himself and goes towards his near side. That one goes wide.
Just wide of the post there. You could hear how close that was with the background noise of the crowd. Being relatively well behaved at the moment from a noise point of view. Vassalainen now back centre, moves Zovidavi out of the way, sends that ball down at Dan Roper, who collects that comfortably, takes a nice breath, leans into the goal. Big power onto this, and it's a good bounce shot, but well blocked by Erky Miller.
Erky Miller now working it towards left pocket, and that one's blocked by the two Ropers. Josh McKenty is now on the far side, working it towards that far side corner. So still going to try and target that far side of the court. That's the line on the brick wall in front of that side netting, and it's a cross-court effort to Roper. It blocks out.
Sorry, I've been a bit of a switch here as well in terms of Josh McKenzie started getting a lot of the ball in the beginning of this half, but it's all coming at Dan Roper now. So potentially a little bit of a tactic change here for Old Power, who are now deciding to give Dan that ball. But we've seen how that can go for you if you feed the beast, so hopefully Dan might take confidence from that. Good long cross shot there, blocked by Erky Miller.
Nerdkey now has a chance to throw towards Joe Roper in centre. 3 minutes gone, so just the one goal in this second half. 5-3 to Old Power. Still aiming for that far corner. Vassalainen has it covered though.
Again. That's his post. You may not pass. Zovidavi now comes over to left. Slightly central shot, well stopped by Joe Roper, and a quick timeout call there from Emma Evans. And we've got some movement on the bench as well, so looks like Dave Scott's having a bit of a warm-up for the Fen Tigers bench, just aware, you know, this is a long time he's been sat on that bench, and if I'm going to be used, I'm expected to get on the court. I want to make sure that I do that in my absolute best position possible, and I don't want to be going on to a game of this calibre cold.
So just the 2 goals in it. It is 5-3 to Old Power. Not much in it between the two sides. It's been a grossing semi-final. Old Power, former Champions League winners. Fen Tigers aiming to try and reach the Champions League finals for the very first time. Roper with that effort towards the right pocket, blocked off by Erky and from Zovidavi. Erky Miller towards Joe Roper.
The ball went about 8 foot up in the air then, and as it bounced, Joe ran forward and caught it up for one bounce. Looked fantastic. He's so energetic in that centre position. Left that one for Josh McKenzie and his big long legs to get that block in, and it's now Dan Roper at back centre. Again, trying to adjust and change that angle a little bit central. You know, his fatigue setting in a little bit. Oh, we're now rushing our shots a little bit because we're behind in the goal. But a little bit central, maybe not as accurate as the Fen Tigers were in the first half. But still lots to play for. Josh McKenzie.
Here is Joshua Kenty going on side and bounces into the back of the net. Josh McKenty. It's a big goal for Fen Tigers. And they are back within one. And Josh McKenty gets his name on the score sheet to go alongside the 3 from Dan Roper. Big moment in the game, potentially.
Yeah, huge, really, really good as well to see Josh contributing to the goals here, not just defensively, but for those goals as well. And again, another opportunity for us to see his celebration, which is always a great pleaser.
And he backs it up, Josh, with the save as well.
Giving us a ball over there, so Old Power are getting possession ball back. Vassalainen just walks along the goal casually and passes it to Erkki Miela, who prepares for the shot. It's a long cross shot to that right hand side, but matched by the defence of Josh McKenty.
Big effort down the centre of the court by Dan Roper. 7.5 minutes remaining in the second half. Vassalainen now. That's wide of the mark.
Dan Roper cheered on by the crowd there in that little break of play. Takes a small step inside of the court and he's throwing towards that right hand side post, but unfortunately about half a metre wide, so just needs to adjust and change that angle slightly.
Miller now with the efforts. Roper manages to get his forearm on it and clear it away. Anything will do as he scampers over to that far side. Josh McKenty clears out the way. And Roper. Close for Dan Roper. Well, they're really knocking on the door, Fen Tigers. They're putting on the pressure. All Power matching up though.
Yeah, applying good pressure. Can they do this from a legal point of view? There's always that risk of ramping up the pressure, but neglecting your defensive duties or just putting a little bit of two something into a shot. So really crucial not to give anything away at this stage after they managed to get that goal back. It's a good shot from Dan Roper. Zovi Davi in centre for the Old Power. Rotates round, sends a big bouncing shot, and it's well blocked by the legs of Josh McKenty.
Josh McKenty now as we approach the final quarter. Big block there from Zovi Davi. And a timeout for an equipment check. Had some really good quarterfinals and now semi-finals, close games. Fen Tigers were involved in a real tight tussle with Northern All-Stars in the quarterfinals, and they are involved in a really tough clash here with Old Power.
All great experience for them, Brad. You know, there's although it is club goal ball, these are all international players as well, and this is a great bit of experience to be in and amongst these games that are the pressure games that do mean qualifying for something, but also is a really close game. You know, it's a nail biter, you've one goal in it, but you can't create and generate pressure like this in training. It's actually being in competition and being in these pressure games. You know, regardless of the result here, this will be great experience for players on the court.
That's a line now with the effort down the centre. Joe Roper scampers after the ball. Dan Roper now with the ball in his hand, right in the centre of his goal, and goes towards that near side.
Erkki Miela now picks the ball out with a lot of intention. He flies across the goal there. It's a great block and a huge celebration from Josh McKenty, pushing that ball around the post. Good movement, shot and power from Erkki, but well matched with the defence of Josh McKenty, who now has his chance to get this back, lining up at that left post. His trademark rotation puts a nice shot into that left hand side pocket. Zovi Davi flicks it up in the air and it has Vassalainen scrambling, but the ball is blocked out.
Throw coming in from Vassalainen, and that's into the back of the net. And Josh McKenty really frustrated with that one, but it was a wicked effort from Vassalainen. They restore their 2-goal advantage, 6-4 to Old Power.
Okay, so a little bit of urgency now will start creeping into the game for the Fen Tigers, but really important, can they control that? Continue to test the defence of the Old Power. A great shot to start off from Dan Roper, setting the standard there. Good block by Erky Minola, lines up now at that left hand side post. He's looking at that long cross, and it's a long ball, so just as they've extended their lead, the experienced Erky Minola, it did look like he slipped as he threw that ball. He did end up on the floor, but he's given away a long ball. This is a great opportunity now for Dan Roper. Take centre stage and see if he can claw this goal back and apply that pressure back onto the scoreline.
Yeah, it feels like this really does now need to go in. Or Fen Tigers are just going to have a brief stoppage of play after that slip from Erky Minola to really mop the floor. We've got the whole team out onto the court. Well, big moments in the game as we move into the final quarter. Just a brief time to now talk about potential player of the matches, Aaron, as we're into the final quarter. Vassalainen, I think, is up there. Erky. And from Fen Tigers, Dan, of course. Josh McKenzie put in a big shift as well.
I think, yeah, we've seen the typical goals from Dan, but it's been really pleasing also to see Josh McKenzie contribute to the attack by getting that crucial goal to bring them back to 1 goal within it. And I think he's had a lot of the ball, he's had a lot of defensive pressure that he's dealt with well. So I think, yeah, all 3 of them are good shouts. Vassalainen, we've got to keep him involved, and then Dan or Josh, your call. We've got the penalty first. Let's see if we can decide it after this penalty.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan Roper. Big moments in the game right on this near side. Roper, it's saved. Big sole of the foot from Erky Minola. Huge moment for Old Power and for Fen Tigers. It remains at 6-4.
Great block there from Erky. Walks over now, passes the ball to Zovidavi, who sends the ball down to Dan Roper. Using his chest, he blocks that ball out. Dan Roper to pick up. Josh McKenzie's just making his way over towards him now. He's walking back. He's giving Dan a full court to run into. We've seen him do this shot many a time into that pocket, but that's a great save and reaction stop there from Zovidavi.
Cross-court effort into the path of Dan Roper. It's Dan Roper trying to squeeze it through. The power's a little bit off on that throw. Changes so far for either side of Minola. Josh McKenzie with that effort, already a goal to his name. It was a big moment for him. Equipment check for Joe Roper, and again another shoelace.
It's a very proud moment for me here, watching Joe Roper do his shoelaces, because I know the guy who taught him how to do those. He won't thank me for telling you that. Just really pleased to see that he can now do his own shoelaces. Okay, back to the action. Really exciting game. 5 minutes ahead.
Just under 5 minutes there to go. Big moments in the match. That's the line in now with an effort towards Joe Roper with his shoelaces firmly tied. Dan Roper. Goes down the centre. Boots it away with a bit of purpose.
Almost took out the official table and the scoreboard, that one as well. A really, really good stop, but equally fantastic block as well. So we've got an official clarification here at the moment. Not sure whether that's, it was given as a block out. Yeah, given as a block out rather than a ball over. It'll be Old Power that regain possession of the ball. And it's Erky Minola collecting the ball from Vassalainen, casually walking along the goal, back to the left hand side, but he throws back across into the high numbers, and wow match by Josh McKenzie.
Here is Josh McKenzie then, right in front of the team bench area. Oh, and just loses the ball under his footing and collides into Joe. There's a 10-second time penalty. That's it. Mishap from Josh McKenzie is costing Fen Tigers here.
Yeah, really unfortunate, and the boys tried really, really hard to get that ball out. They got the ball out just as the buzzer went. Also a bit of a collision, and yeah, you had Big Josh and Little Joe there colliding trying to get that ball. So there's only one person coming off badly in that exchange, and that's Joe, but he looks like he's absolutely fine. And it looks like now that Old Power have chosen Josh McEntee to defend this penalty.
Well, he's already saved one, Josh McEntee. Joe Roper made a stern stuff.
Just got an eye shades check as well here, so a bit of a hold up to the penalty. Applying a little bit more pressure, I suppose, onto the penalty taker here. Dan Roper just having his eye shades check now, in no rush perhaps. All along, Zobby Davies waiting, thinking, visualising that penalty from the far end. Thinking about how he might be able to be in a position to put his team 3 goals up within touching distance of that final spot and that qualification to the Champions League finals.
Yeah, so Zobby Davies standing in the centre of his goal has looked very relaxed in this stoppage.
It is Big Josh McEntee has been chosen to defend the penalty, so it's Zobby Davies for Old Power versus Josh McEntee. Big number 6 for Fen Tigers. He's gambled, he's gone down and got down on the floor over the right hand side, and it's a good penalty from Zobby Davies. He was aware, he's gone over to the left hand side, and he puts Old Power 3 goals ahead, 7-4 with 4 minutes and 23 minutes left on this clock. Big push needed now from Fen Tigers.
Yeah, for the first time in this match, a bit of a comfort barrier for Old Power, leading by 7-4. Player of the match vote is up. Yanni Vassalainen or Josh McEntee. Take your pick. Both have performed very well in this semi-final. And here is Erkki Minala. Erkki Minala cross court. That one is just goes wide.
Start seeing perhaps some movement now from either bench. You know, we are getting into the later stages and we keep doing what we've done and we might get the same result here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see the coaches using their timeouts effectively to try and maximise the time we've got the ball in hand, allowing us an opportunity to orientate ourselves, but also to bring on a different player, try something new. You know, particularly for the Fen Tigers team now, it's go for broke, you know. So they've got people on the bench, they've got Don Roper, huge favourite here, his hometown, home club, so it'd be a great opportunity to see him play. But also they've got Dave Scott, who possesses really, really good shot power. He's a big guy, so potentially they might lean on his services as well for the final few minutes of this game, see if he can come in and be the game changer.
So options for Fen Tigers, options for Old Power. Josh Murphy, Hinton on the bench. No changes thus far in this semi-final. Will we get a change? Who will blink first? Joe Roper with that save. Dan Roper pushes forward. Minala with the big block.
Ball comes back to Erkki there, and it's a straight shot down the line. I think we're going to have a wet floor here now, because Dan Roper showing off some fantastic skills there to keep his balance. He went to take the shot and slipped on that wet floor, but the game was paused for a Fen Tigers substitution. So your player of the match nominee, Josh McEntee, is making way. He's put in a fantastic shift in these 2 games today for the team, but now there's an opportunity for Big Dave Scott, so replacing Big Josh with Big Dave, and it's an opportunity for Dave Scott to come in. Whether he's going to come in and fit straight into one of the wings and bring some attack, something different, we shall see, but a good opportunity for Dave to come and add some value to the Fen Tigers team now.
Well, it's the first substitution of the day for the Tigers. That one's cleared away.
So Erkki Minala just asking now for an eye shades check. So the referee's just checking those patches. A nice opportunity for a break in play. The coaches are able to put some information on here. And the ball will be reintroduced to the wing line of Erky Minala, who will get this action underway now from that left-hand side post.
Erky Minala cross court. Dave Scott gets a little touch to it to push it around the post.
So potentially the first action for Dave Scott here. Ball dropped in with Dave. He's taking that run up on the left hand side of the court, really attacking that high ball line. And good power, and it's a good shot, but really strong defence again from that man Vassalainen.
Certainly is, and here is Vassalainen, one of the options for player of the match. Dave Scott springs to his feet and pushes one towards that left pocket and scores. Dave Scott! What a substitution that was. Dave Scott gets his name on the score sheet, and suddenly this place has been turned up a few gears.
Could that be the momentum changer there? Great opportunity for Dave Scott here. He's come on, and that will do wonders for his confidence as well. Really, really good shot into that left-hand side pocket.
Dave Scott with his second goal of the tournament. Huge goal for Fen Tigers, and the spring in the step that they now have as that one is cleared off the line, and goodness me, it's amazing what a goal can do. It can change the complexion of a game in an instant. And Dan Roper now has possession of the ball, throwing from left to right. Dave Scott, bouncing effort again, right into the path of Sophie Davy.
Sophie Davy just passing that ball over now to Erky Minala on the left-hand side. He runs into the centre of the court as he throws that, but it's been another good stop from Dave Scott. So a great introduction here for Dave Scott. Really positive defence, and he's contributing in attack as well. Dan Roper comes over now, gives him a big pat on the back, picks up that ball, rotates into the pocket. It's a big shot into that left-hand side pocket, but good block by Robbie Davy, and it's a block over. So ball back to Fen Tigers.
Dave Scott, energy coursing through him at the moment. And it's Erky Minala can just settle things down once again for old pal Joe Roper. Makes no mistake, a goal now would really put the pressure on. With just over 2 minutes remaining, Erky Minala saves it comfortably. Vassalainen sets himself and goes towards Dan Roper. Roper, he now just takes a pause and goes for it. And that one is just going to be parried out, blocked out.
So 1:45 on the clock, we've got a 2-goal deficit. Opportunities here for the coaches to try and slow this game down as well. Lots of information on, reinforce some of those key messages. But as it stands, Dave Scott, left-hand side post, going to try and get that left-hand side pocket again. He does, but it's well matched by the defence. Vassalainen been superb again today.
Cross-court effort, Dan Roper. So, Vassalainen only leading our player of the match vote. Erky Minala, no mistake there. 1 minute and 10 seconds now remaining. Erky Minala. Joe Roper.
No messing about there from Joe Roper. Didn't want to leave anything to chance. Got everything behind that and sent the ball to the other side of the sports hall. Gives that a little tiny bit of respite as well. So a timeout has been called now by Fen Tigers. I don't think the old power bench were quite ready for it. So good opportunity here for Emma Evans to give some instruction to these boys. We've got possession of the ball, and what is it that she's after? A really, really crucial goal now. If they could get one, it puts a lot of pressure into the dying seconds of this game.
So 1 minute, 5 seconds left on the clock.
It's not the first time Old Power have been in this situation, I'm sure, throughout the years. So there's a lot of experience. They're really, really well experienced to deal with this type of pressure and type of game. But still doesn't mean that this game is over. And Roper there throwing across to the right hand side with a good block. big shout from Erky Miller as well, just to let him know that was blocked. I've saved it. Another one. Substitution here from Fen Tigers. Just an opportunity to run this clock down a little bit and make sure that we are maximising each one of these throws. So that 10-second timer stopped while the substitution goes on. These boys can make sure they're ready to throw as soon as that referee blows the whistle for play. Who knows, they might get another shot or two out of this game if they can be smart with their tactics here.
Dave Scott's coming off, and it is Dom Roper for the 53 seconds. We have the 3 Roper brothers all out on the court together. Dom, Dan and Joe.
So Josh McKenty, I think, has just given away an illegal coaching penalty there. Trying to build that bit of pressure, getting the crowd going with a bit of a chant, but unfortunately not heard the referee call quiet please, and he's continued to make that noise. Maybe it won't have a huge impact on the game, but potentially does take the sting out of it if Old Power can get another goal ahead here with this penalty opportunity.
So this could be the moment. Quite yet, because we're going to have a timeout for Old Power.
So what an introduction for Dom Roper. He's been introduced, we've given away an illegal coaching penalty, and Dom has been chosen to defend the penalty. So his first action is going to be the hero by blocking this penalty, and if he does, I think we're going to hear the crowd give him some big appreciation being at his home club.
I think if Dom makes the save, we'll be hearing the roars all the way to Helsinki. So Dom Roper facing up to this penalty. Davi has the ball in his hands. Davi. Oh, he gave it a good effort to Dom Roper, but it's into the back of the net. And it's 8-5, and that could be that. And Old Power could be securing their place into the final of the EGCA Champions League qualifier and the ticket for the Champions League finals. Dom Roper with the effort. That was blocked by Davi.
Stay over now to Erky Miller on the left hand side. Goes for that long crossing shot, and it's stopped by Dom Roper. Ball goes up, and then it's got all 3 brothers in arms behind that ball at back centre there, stopping that ball going in.
That's the line in. Currently leading our player of the match poll.
So Dom Roper's currently leaving the court, thinking that's him coming off. It's not, it's actually little brother Joe. So Joe's going to be removed, and Big Dave Scott is coming back on for the final 22 seconds of this game. Good coaching here from Emma Evans, just allowing the game to pause. That little bit of pressure to build on Old Power, who've got one hand on that final spot, but also a chance for some information. And what will likely be Dave as the new player introduced, or Dan Roper to put another full shot into this game. Give the crowd something else to cheer about if they can.
Yeah, second goal of the tournament, and Dave Scott enters into the court for the final 22 seconds. Dan Roper was blocked by Erky Miller. And they finish with a flourish. Old Power, well, it hits the outside of the post. And a timeout called by Fen Tigers with 7 seconds remaining. Well, Old Power are all but there now. Place in the final, and their ticket to the Champions League finals, which will take place in Montenegro.
Just an opportunity here for Emma probably to speak to these boys. You know, we've got 7 seconds left on the clock. This game has gone, and Old Power are going to progress through to the final, but maybe just an opportunity here, Emma, to give them a massive pat on the back, explain how proud she is of them, and that this is the only one opportunity they've got to reach that final competition. So it'll be a case of regrouping after this game, but taking confidence from it. Dom Roper with the ball, 7 seconds on the clock, moves over to the right hand side of the court. Throws it across into the left-hand pocket, and it's a long ball. So we've got some cheers on the side of the Fen Tigers bench as well. At this stage, it's not going to impact the result, but another opportunity for Dom Roper to practice his penalty defence. Oh no, they've chosen Dave Scott instead. No, they haven't. They've declined the penalty. They're going to hold the ball for 0.8 seconds. Over to you, Brad.
Ball's coming from the stand with 0.8 seconds remaining. Well, that penalty was declined. And that is that. And Old Power are through to the final of the EGCA Champions League qualifiers. Excellent semi-final, both teams giving it their absolute all. But that experience, that extra little bit of quality across the whole squad has just seen them over the line. Old Power. And our player of the match will be number 5, Jani Vassalainen. Another excellent performance from Old Power and Old Power's number 5. But Fen Tigers can hold their heads up high. It was a brilliant effort in the semi-finals, and they will get another shot at securing a place in the EGCA Champions League finals. But Aaron, this is the final time we'll get the chance to have you live on air throughout the weekend. Thank you very much for joining me over the weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to get your insight into the game and to add that extra in-depth analysis. I'm sure everyone has really benefited from it. So thank you very much, Aaron. But what's been your memorable moments, key takeaways from the weekend, really?
First, no problem at all, Brad. Thank you for having me. It's been really, really good to be part of the event and help commentate. So yeah, hopefully it's been useful. Some key takeaways. I think the fact now, although this is a disappointing result, Fen Tigers, this is a home competition for them as a club. This shows huge growth, huge development, and it shows that they are a club that wants to be one of the best, not only in England, but one of the best clubs from around Europe as well, and who knows, maybe even the world. So the competition as a whole, I think it's been fantastically well run. I think it's all gone smoothly. I think there's been some fantastic performances on the court, and all of these athletes seem really, really happy as being part of this competition, which is the main thing. So yeah, an all-round success, lots of highlights. And you put me on the spot asking me right now, so that's my answer.
No, very nicely put. Thank you very much, Aaron. Very massively appreciated. Well, 2 more games to come on day number 2. It's our second 5th to 8th placement match coming up next, our penultimate game. And of course, we'll finish off with our second semi-final. Don't go anywhere. Next game coming up shortly.